Hello, it's Klepto, and it's time for another live report, or 3 more live reports to be exact. Over the next 10 days, I'll be going to 3 concerts. First up is today, I'm going to go see Sadie at Osaka Muse here in Osaka, obviously. On Thursday will be the Gazette at Namba Hatch, also here in Osaka, and then finishing off in Tokyo, seeing Linkin Park next week. So I thought it would be fun to take y'all along for all of those. This live report may be a little bit shorter and less detailed than what you're used to from me from my live reports about the Gazette, but we'll just see how it goes. This tour that Sadie is on currently has like 2 parts, Mode of Sadness and Mode of Darkness. And so in each location that they're traveling to, they are playing 2 different concerts. So the first one is the Mode of Sadness one, which they're playing things from their Revival of Sadness album last year. Basically, mostly the same things that we heard last year. And then the second day, they are doing Mode of Darkness, which they're playing things from their new Revival of Darkness album, which is re-releasing a lot of other songs of theirs. So yeah, 2 nights in each location. And yesterday was their Mode of Sadness live here in Osaka, but I didn't go to that one because it looked like they would be playing mainly the same things as last year. And I was most excited for the Mode of Darkness section because on that CD, they have covered Juggernaut. And by covered, I mean did a re-release of Juggernaut, which is one of my favorite songs from them and possibly the first PV that I ever saw from them. I can't remember if that was exactly the first one, but it was the first one that I really, really liked. And so I'm so excited to see that live. That's just such a good song. And so many other like old favorites on that album. So yeah, really looking forward to hearing more from them today. So yeah. But if you're wondering why I already have the t-shirt from this tour, it's because I did go to the live house yesterday to buy the t-shirt because they have different colors for Mode of Sadness and Mode of Darkness. And I really liked the Mode of Sadness green t-shirt. Today I think they have a hot pink, which is also cool. But I have a lot of pink and red t-shirts recently and I don't have much green. And as you can see, it kind of vibes with my whole color scheme. So I was like, okay, I gotta go get the green t-shirt, even if it means going out a day early just to go buy the t-shirt. So yeah, we can see it has Mode of Sadness and Mode of Darkness. It says, what does it say on here? Don't forget the pain born from despair. It will always create ambition. Well, yeah, that's accurate, I guess. And then we have change yourself, cry out with sadness and darkness. So yeah, very, very typical Sadie, wonderful dramatic English. Love it. Also, if some of you are new here and don't know a whole lot about Sadie, their name is literally Sad and Die, and they put it together. And like, if that isn't the most emo thing that you've ever heard in your life, I love how overdramatic Visual K is. It's great. Also, for my own history with Sadie was the first Visual K band that I went to a concert for after I moved permanently to Japan in 2014. I saw them in Matsuyama in Ehime Prefecture, like fairly small venue, I guess. That was a fun time. And yeah, then they went on hiatus shortly after that for 10 years and didn't make a comeback until last year when I saw them again here at Namba Hatch in Osaka. So yeah, there was a big gap there and I was glad to see them come back, especially because they are a Kansai-based band. There's only most of the big Visual K bands are, they come out of Tokyo, obviously, but it's great to have a local band here in Kansai, and yeah, we definitely want to support that. Osaka Muse, this concert hall that I'm going to today, and I also have a little bit of a history because that was the first concert hall that I ever went to a Visual K live at here in Japan back in, 2012, when I saw Sug there after I won a free ticket out of buying their album from, I think, Sweet Toxic. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea, about how anything worked or that there even was Furitsuke. I didn't know where I was. That was only my second time in Osaka. The first time was just to figure out where the concert hall was. That was before smartphones, so I had a hand-drawn map of like where the concert hall was, trying to find it. And it was August in Japan and I was super not used to the weather, so I actually got heat exhaustion and felt very sick during that whole live and don't really remember most of it. So yeah, it will be nice to go back to Osaka Muse and hopefully have a much better experience this time with Sadie. One more random thing about that event in Matsuyama is that they actually had an in-store event the next day for anybody who bought the CD at the concert the night before. So even though it was like a several hour train ride for me to get to Matsuyama for that live, I did go home that night and then came back the next morning for the in-store event since I had the opportunity for that. And it was really cool to meet the band. Tsurugi told me that he liked my hair, and that was like meant so much to me back then. The other thing that's kind of cool and different about today's live is that it starts at 3:30 p.m. I've never been to a live that started that early in the afternoon, but it is a Sunday, and I appreciate all of these visual kei bands realizing, you know, who their audience is, that we are all like in our 30s or older, and that we have jobs to go to tomorrow. So it sure helps us, yeah, and definitely me, to have it earlier in the afternoon today, finish up earlier, and then be able to come home, relax and chill before work tomorrow. All right, so let's go. All right, the live is over and I am home, and I think that 3 p.m. live should be more of a thing because it is like so nice to be comfy at home with my cat and a double cheeseburger by 7 p.m. Like, this is the best. So I will just eat my food and then I'll give you the full report. Shout out to my local hamburger place for being delicious. Did you know that hamburgers in Japan were traditionally served with orange juice instead of like soda? Fun fact. All right, live report time. I have decided to stay here at the Kotatsu because it is warm and comfy and I don't feel like moving right now. So, as always, I have my notebook with very indecipherable notes that we will try our best to read. Where to start for this one? I mean, I guess, so we got into the concert hall and it was bigger than I remember Osaka Muse being, but still it's a pretty small hall compared to like where I saw Sadie last year at Namba Hatch. Like, this is a fraction of the size. It's all standing and there's no barricades in the middle. It's just all one thing. So I was like second row from the back. I probably could have been closer to the front, but I'm kind of taking it easy today because I'm like spent the last couple days getting over a cold and I don't want to overdo it. So I wanted to be somewhere where I was kind of further in the back and could just have some space, chill, not be squished by anybody. So I was like, I chose to be further in the back. I had like ticket B15. There was A, like 1 through 100 something, and then it switched to B. So I was like near the middle of the back, I guess. But I chose to be a little bit further back where it was more quiet and open, but still I had a pretty good view of the stage. And yeah, it's not a very big venue, so you can still see quite a lot. Like, I think it's still closer than like the middle of Toyosu Pit was when I went to see the Gazette the first time, probably at Toyosu Pit for Reita's memorial concert, probably. So we started off with some green lights on the Sadie logo. I really like the way that they're incorporating a lot of green on this tour. I feel like Sadie's colors overall are red, but yeah, I'm liking the green, so that was cool. Then everybody came out onto the stage, which was, of course, great. Overall notes, I kind of have... Okay, so, like, hold on, let me go back for a second. So they just played nearly everything off of their Revival of Darkness CD without any breaks. Like, we just jumped into it, went through the whole thing, and there were no MC sections until the encore. Like, they just went through all of the things. Not all of the songs in the exact same order, and there were some other things mixed in and other things saved till the end. But yeah, it was mostly just concert. Here's the full track list almost. And yeah, that's kind of how it was. So before I go into anything that was about the emceeing, I just have general notes about like the vibe of the concert and what everybody was doing. So basically, they were wearing their same looks that were pretty similar to the Rosario video, the re-release of that PV that they put out. And some of their hairstyles were a little bit different than that, but overall, basically that look. Starting from the left side of the stage, I was kind of to the left, slightly left of middle. Mizuki's always having a fun time. He's just great. He's always there to have a good time. He had these really bright, like highlighter yellow-green extensions, and depending on the light, they sometimes look really fluorescent green. But yeah, he always just looks like he's having fun. He's good at getting the crowd hyped up. I appreciate him a lot. Aki he has such a personality. Large majority of the time, he just looks like he is standing there staring straight ahead, just absolutely dissociating, hating every minute of being there. But on the other hand, he has times when it feels like he's looking directly like into your soul. And you can tell he's having fun, and he definitely has fun when he comes to the front of the stage and just stares at people. Like, that's just his thing. That's just how he is. And then he also has a good sense of humor. But yeah, most of the time he just looks like he is just totally zoned out, staring straight ahead. But he's enjoying things in his very own way. Yeah. Mao is... My notes here say such a creature. His screams are amazing. They have the quality of them is very creature. It was, great. That look was, something else. I don't know how he sings with all of the stuff on his face. That is a lot. But yeah, he looked very cool. One of my favorite moments was like, I don't know which song it was during, but one of the quieter ones, but his coat is held onto his shoulder by some straps. And it mostly stays there, but one moment it was kind of slipping off, but he did this dramatic flip to get it back over his shoulder and then just kind of posed like that for a second. And yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so dramatic and so cool. I enjoyed that. Oh, one little note that I have here about Aki is that his overall vibe though, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but it was like totally giving Wednesday Addams. Like, just the look, the middle part, the way that his hair is pretty long on the sides now, and the blank stare. Yeah, very, very Wednesday vibes in not a bad way, but the comparison made me laugh a little in my head. Kay, unfortunately, I couldn't see most of the time. He looked cool when I did see him, but he was pretty much directly behind Mao for the entirety of the time that I was watching. So yeah, I didn't get to see much of him until the encore. And then Tsurugi, he's also always doing his thing. I like the little like skeleton thing, whatever he had going on. It was like skeleton teeth on the side of his face, which worked out well with his makeup and overall look. And I don't know how he gets his hair that fluffy. There is so much teasing going into it. I mean, I know a lot of it is extensions. It has to be like primarily extensions. There's no way it's that fluffy. Also, how does he keep because I think the ponytail clip is like, yeah, it's a separate thing with extensions. I'm not sure how he keeps that in for all the headbanging or how it's always that fluffy. It must take so much time to fluff it up to that extent, but it looks really cool. And yeah, that was my thoughts on him. There was also a couple songs for which the lights on the wall, they did this kind of like blood splattery effect. Yeah, I don't know, somewhere between blood splatter and metal grate is what I would say that texture looked like. And when it was red, it would look very blood splatter. When it was like white for other songs, it looked very like, I don't know, industrial, like post-apocalyptic, yeah, like building infrastructure kind of vibes. Very cool. Enjoyed that. And yeah, so I was wondering, like, I was really surprised. I kept expecting them to do an MC section and then they just didn't. I'm not sure if that was because it was like the second day, and they also did the first part, the Mode of Sadness yesterday, and they talked more then, or if that's just how this tour is. But yeah, I'm not sure. Gimmick with the clapping was really fun. I enjoyed that. Let's see, what other notes do I have here? So for me this time, this live, yeah, like I said, I was trying to take it easy, and honestly, I showed so much self-restraint. I pretty much only went all out for my favorites, including like Juggernaut, of course, which was what I was so excited to see, and Grieving the Dead Soul. But I was trying to, take it easy because I need to conserve energy for Gazette coming up as well. So normally I'm a very, high energy person at concerts. But I, was trying to remember to slow down, not use up all of my energy. I was right behind a couple that was also pretty low energy, so it was kind of fun watching their take on the Fruititsuke, and a good reminder for myself to also slow down. By the way, probably a lot of you already know this, but if you are at a live and don't feel like headbanging, or you can't, or you just don't have the energy for it, you can always substitute Taebon for headbanging. That's like fine in any situation. Of course, you can also choose to not do anything too. There were plenty of people just watching. I think once you get more towards the back of the hall, there's a lot of people who are just like, yeah, we love the music, but we don't have energy for this and we just need to chill. Yeah. Another thought throughout the concert was just that Visual Kei is really beautiful. And maybe I got to take a moment and like notice some details of that more because I was trying to take it easy this time. And I had a little bit more time to like, look around, I suppose. But yeah, the lights, I always, really notice the lights, but the lights are beautiful. The way that the crowd is all moving together, this sort of fashion that could never exist in daily life, but has such a cool place on stage at Visual Kei concerts. And there was this one gyaru in front of me who had these really long lime green acrylic nails, like totally bedazzled. And when the like pink stage lights would kind of shine through them, they're a little translucent. That was just really cool. And just little things like that. I don't know, Visual Kei is full of so many beautiful moments, and it's fun to take some time to look around while you're at a concert and enjoy the visual aspect of it, as well as music. But yeah. Another thing is that because Osaka Muse is so small, you really feel the bass in the floor and in your chest, like you're close to the stage, so you just feel it a lot. And that is one thing that I remember distinctly from my first time going to Osaka Muse. And this time I was actually a little bit anxious at first because I hadn't been back there since 2012, and because I was so sick when I was there last time, just, I don't know, got a little anxious for a moment. But once I calmed down and got into it and had a fun time, I'm kind of glad that I was able to make my most recent memory at Osaka Muse not the one of me getting heat exhaustion and being super sick, and kind of replace my most recent memory with, having a nice chill time seeing Sadie. So that was good. Let's see. What did I have? Oh, just a random note was that overall, the outfits felt a little pirate to me. I don't know how else to explain it, but yeah, if you've seen the Rosario music video, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of, that if I had to choose a vibe, it was like some kind of dark, cool pirates. So the main set lasted until 4:40. It started at around 3:30, and maybe slightly, they were a little bit late, 3:35 or so. So it was just slightly over an hour of the main set, just continuous nonstop. So once that main set was over, we went into the encore. And when they came out for the encore, they were wearing the pink t-shirts. So there's basically a version of this with the pink instead of green, and that was the one that they actually were selling today. I just got the green because I liked it. So yeah, when they all came out with the pink shirts, most of them were just wearing it normally. And then there's Mizuki, who is such a maximalist in his looks, because he had taken his t-shirt and splattered bleach across the bottom half of it. So it was kind of brown on the bottom with splatters. And then over that he put a harness, and then over the top of that, a short cropped pink fishnet top. And it was a very Mizuki look. I love how he always has to be a little bit extra. It's good. Also, I can't help but wonder if yesterday, when they had the green t-shirts, Mizuki had a green fishnet, because then we would have been matching. So, of course, he was also the first one to grab the microphone and talk, and he said that Mao is getting changed, and he has a lot of changing to do, so that he was going to talk for now. And I have to say that there's certain parts of this MC that I don't think that I did as good of a job of understanding or recording as I do with the Gazette usually, because I don't follow Sadie quite as closely as the Gazette, and there's a lot of things that I'm kind of lacking context for. So I believe Tsurugi talked about perhaps a TV show that he was going to be on, something that he was, I don't know, there's something for that he prepared all by himself, and everybody was very proud of him for that. I think he also said something about how today's checky turned out pretty good, so please go buy one. And then we went into some part about, I think, was that, did Kay talk for a while, or yeah. Kay was also talking about something. I don't see where I actually recorded what he was talking about. I thought that was here, but I'm not sure. I don't seem to have I wrote his name, but did not write what he said. But yeah, I think he was mostly just joking around with the others. And then Mizuki was talking about how his grandmother came to visit one of the lives one time, because they are like based in Kansai. They're all from Kansai. So when they used to perform in Osaka and stuff, I guess their family used to come see. And Mizuki's grandmother came to a concert one time. This was a long time ago. But she was, I guess, kind of scolding him for like, why are you the one who's like being weird and dancing around and sticking your tongue out and stuff, and like all the other four are kind of normal, like what's wrong with you, Mizuki? So that was kind of a funny story about his grandmother. He was also eating candy while he was talking, and everybody's like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm eating candy because my throat is sore. This is the second day that we've had a live. And everybody's like, you're just the guitarist. And Mizuki was like, yeah, I don't know how Mel does it with the screaming like 2 days in a row. That's so intense. And then so he asked Kay, it was like, is there anything else you want to say? They want to hear, all of our voices. And Kay just kind of pointed at Aki, like, what about him? He hasn't said anything. Mizuki turned to Aki and asked him, okay, so yeah, what about you? And it's kind of funny, he called him Osama, or King. We want to hear from you, King. What do you have to say? And they also joked around a little bit, and there's some parts of that I couldn't catch and or cannot read from what I have written here. There was some line about how, like, you're just like the extra. Why are you trying to be the main character? And Mizuki was like, why are we getting the same salary? You don't even do anything. And Aki was like, well, but I'm playing the bass, and sometimes I like raise my hand sometimes. And Mizuki was like, I do that too. And this launched into a discussion of him and Tsurugi talking about how, as they're playing, sometimes they'll play and then they'll do a thing like this, something, dramatic, cool move. And how they try really hard to not do it at the same time, because then it's uncool if they're doing it at the same time. So yeah, Mizuki was like, yeah, I'm always trying to guess when Tsurugi is going to do that so that I can do it at my own timing and not look like, silly doing it at the same timing as him. Same with like spinning. He was like, yeah, I try not to do it at the same time as Tsurugi. Let's see, what else did I write? And then, finally, Mal came on stage. I think that was the next thing. Yeah. So he came out looking extremely clean, is the only word that I have to say. After having all of the stuff all over his face, and just like, yeah, he came out with pretty much no makeup, maybe foundation, but no eyeshadow or anything. Little bit of red lipstick, but just, yeah, a very simple look for him. He had his t-shirt tucked into his jeans, which I thought was a choice. But yeah. And he was like, yeah, while I was back there, I was like listening, wondering what they're talking about. And then I couldn't find the right timing to enter the conversation because you all were still talking. So I've been standing back there for like 5 minutes. Like, it didn't really take me that long to change. I've been standing back there for 5 minutes, but Mizuki was just talking so much that I couldn't find a time to come out. So yeah, that was kind of funny. They talked about their extra lives that they announced yesterday. That will be at Gorilla Hall, I believe, in Osaka later this year. They said that it happened to be the same time as like several other Visual Kei lives and events going on. For example, Sophia at Zepp Namba and things like that. And they were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that we picked the same day, but you're going to come see us, right? So yeah. And then we went into the encore. Encores are just always so fun. There's something about when the band's like calm down and let loose, that the encore always feels like a party for whatever band I go to see. I really like that that's just one of the best parts of any live is the encore. And one part that really stood out to me was that they played Deadly Masquerade, which they haven't released yet as a re-release. And I really hope they do, because it sounded great. It was a really fun song for a venue like that, and it was great. Then we went into a part where, between the songs of the encore, where Mao talked a lot. And so let me take a quick look and figure out what I have written here about what he had to say, because I have several pages worth from him. So he was saying that, of course, this is Sadie's 20th anniversary this year, which is crazy. And he was saying that, looking back at old songs from 10 years ago, it's really nice to remember how good they are. And also how, inexperienced and young they were at the time, and how much they've grown since then. So that's kind of why they're enjoying remastering those songs. And I think it's really nice that they can look back and not only go, oh my God, we need to update this, but appreciate their past work and songs and go, yeah, this was good. We just need to polish up these parts. I mean, I think all of their stuff sounded great before. Some of it sounds even better now, but yeah, I like that there's that balance from them. And Mao was talking about how in Daikokucho, Osaka, there was a studio there where they used to practice every day. And they'd often practice and then talk afterwards, eat dinner together. And some days somebody would oversleep and not show up at all. There were lots of things that were tiring, and they had times when they fought too. But throughout all of this, they all, continued to come together. And he thinks it's so cool that now, after so much time has passed, they're still all interested in doing the same thing and moving forward together. And he's so happy that this band has been strong enough to keep going for all of those years. And yeah, that is pretty cool. 20 years is a long time. Even if 10 of those years were a hiatus in the middle, that's very cool. And he was saying that there was times when they thought that they hit a limit where they wouldn't be able to go any further. And that hiatus and just taking a break was really helpful for them. And I think he wanted the audience to know that if there's any unfortunate things, sad things, difficult times that they experience too, that his advice is to just take a break, let some time pass and come back to it. And then sometimes when you do that, you'll be able to see things from a different angle. You'll find the strength to continue what you were doing. And he, was saying that the hiatus was really good for them, and that he hopes that can be something that would help other people as well. And yeah, he said that they grew up in Osaka, and there's so many memories there, and thank you all for waiting for us to come back. He said that several times throughout this speech, which I think is interesting, because last year was their revival when they did come back. So it's interesting that there's still now this, so much emphasis on thank you for waiting for us, and we're sorry we made you wait so long. But I guess they did only do 2 lives last year, so it was a comeback, but it was kind of a slow comeback. I think they only did 2. So now they're kind of getting back into touring. They're going to a lot more locations this year, so I suppose that's why they're talking about it in that way. And yeah, just thing that we are all humans enjoying this space together, and we want to find lots of happy moments in life together, and that he promises that the 5 of them will try to make those moments. And what does this say? My handwriting is so terrible. Also that there's probably a lot of familiar returning faces at the live house, but even tonight there were probably a lot of people who were there for the very first time seeing them, and that he wants everybody to know that in that space we're all nakama, we're all friends, and that it's a group of good people, and everybody supports each other and everything. And during this he was crying also. This was a very emotional time, I think too, because they are a Kansai based band. It's pretty cool for them to come back and play again in their hometown, essentially. So yeah. And he said, thank you. I want to put all of my gratitude into the next song. And that next song was True Word, which was very beautiful. They put the light on the mirror ball and it was shining in the room. And yeah, it was really nice. Also, yeah, just have a note here that Mao with very minimal makeup was very pretty. Yeah, we don't usually see him like that, but he looked very nice like that as well. After that song, they said, yeah, once again, thank you for waiting for us. And then we went into Meisai as the last song, which I think was a great hype way to end it for everyone. And then at the very end, they said, yeah, for the next 20 years, we hope we can keep continuing, and yeah, that they'll definitely come home again because they're Kansai-jin. They're from Kansai. So yeah, it's nice, I think, to see that personal connection to this place. And then I think, yeah, everybody said their goodbye. They threw all the picks and drumsticks and stuff into the crowd. And the last thing that was said at the concert was when Kay turned to the audience and said, "I love you" in English, which was really funny. And then they all walked off stage by then. So yeah, that sums it up. That was my experience seeing Sadie's Mode of Darkness live. It was great. Because of when their tour dates are and when I have other plans this year, I don't know if I will be seeing them any other time, at least in the first half of 2025. So yeah, I'm really glad that I got to go today, and it was a lot of fun. They're great, and I do love that they are a Kansai band, so that's so cool. So yeah, that's my report, and I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for this one, and I'll see you very soon for the report about the Gazette Live coming up, so stay tuned for that, and yeah, until then, take care. Thanks for watching. All right, bye.